You are listening to the Slowly Dying Podcast with Becca.
Check yourself. Check. Week after I cried at the bowling alley.
And Bronte.
Oh my god, what have I done?
What do you mean? I haven't heard from you in months.
We talk about everything and anything.
I could tell she was frustrated just by how she was throwing the...
I'm the only one who does it the best.
And turn in every Monday for a brand new episode.
I did not know though.
What? Like, you were freaking out.
Let's get it poppin'.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey guys, it's Becca, and what's poppin'? Back on the mic for another rant. You guys will never believe what just happened. So me and my son were like playing, chilling, eating dinner, whatever. And then these fire trucks come, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're just using our street to like kind of pass through. No, they stop it because there's like 9 buildings. And they stop at building 1, then one stops at building 2, then the other stops at building 3, and then they stop at my building, and then so on and so on. And I'm like, what is going on? I started kind of tearing up. I'm like, oh my gosh, is there a fire? Like, I just moved in a month and a half ago. But we're good. We got out. But there's no fire here. There's actually a gas leak in building 1. And it just I don't know, really scared me. But because we're all the way on the 3rd floor. I mean, I was ready now. But anyway, so if I sound a little off, that's why. But I wanted to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Just been really busy. But I wanted to talk about why LPNs are nurses too. And nothing aggravates me more is when everyone's like, oh, an LPN is a tech, or an LPN's an aide, or they just think LPNs are medical assistants. And there's nothing wrong with any of those titles. There's nothing wrong with being an aide all the way to a surgeon. There's nothing wrong. Everyone has their role, and each role is very important. But LPNs are nurses, and for the idiots out there who don't know that LPN stands for Licensed Practical Nurse, we have to take the NCLEX too. We have to get licensed, go to school, do clinical hours, just like RNs. Because, as you guys know, I'm an LPN and a RN. And I think LPNs, they pretty much learn the same thing, but not in depth. And I feel like LPNs are way more skilled on hands-on skills than RNs. And I'm not bashing RNs. I mean, guys, I am one. You know what I mean? I'm both. But I think RNs are trained more on acute settings and what to do in the moment. And LPN is more hands-on with different kind of skills, and they know how to handle things differently. So nobody's better than anybody. Excuse me, I got hiccups or something. They each have the same goal in mind. It's make sure your patient's safe, make sure your patient's getting proper care. I mean, perfuse the cells. I mean, as you nurses know out there. But it's just crazy, I actually was sitting with a girl I work with, and we were talking about buying nursing insurance, malpractice insurance. And they were asking me if I was going to buy it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I probably should, which I did. But I was like, I bought it for when I was an LPN, because I've been an LPN for 6 years. And they were like, oh, well, I didn't know you needed that. And I'm like, yes, guys, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse. I hate when people come up to me and they're like, oh, how does it feel to be a nurse now? And I'm like, hold on, let's correct you there. I've been a nurse since I was 19 years old when I actually walked across that stage and got my diploma. And I sat for my NCLEX. I actually sat for my NCLEX when I was 20. But, you know what I mean? I've been a nurse. So, I am thankful that I advanced my career and I can work in more of an ICU, very acute setting. But I don't picture myself as a nurse. I've been a nurse. So I don't know what you guys talking about. So just kind of be aware when I don't think it's talked about, because I think it's this little, what is it, elephant in the room when you're talking to an LP and an RN. Because I know a lot of RNs. So when I used to work at this drug and alcohol facility, we had a lot of RNs come. And the LPNs were training the RNs. There was no difference of what they did, at least that I was aware of, because I've trained plenty of RNs to do my job. You know what I mean? I mean, it really wasn't that hard, but still. So it's you know, if somebody who is an LPN doesn't want to go back for their RN, keep your mouth shut. And like I said, I am an RN, and I'm not trashing RNs, and I'm not trashing LPNs. I'm just saying everybody has a different role in life, and they have a different path. And, you know, between me and you guys, I mean, most of your LPNs are making more than your RNs. So you go LPNs. Don't let anybody talk to you. They always say LPN stands for lower paying nurse. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know plenty of LPNs that are making more than me, and I work in the ICU step down. Okay? So don't be bashing on your LPNs because they know where that money is. Okay? Also, they do have less responsibility. So like a lot of people don't go back because they earn more than the regular RN. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, you know, if you've been there for a while with your job and stuff, they pay well. And you have less responsibility. So if you don't want to work in an acute setting, why go back and do all this schooling for more responsibility and not even that much of a pay difference? I went back. I love being an LPN. I am so glad I was an LPN. I would not be the RN that I am, confident in my skills. I mean, I had to like learn new skills, but the confidence of 6 years as an LPN, I go to my preceptors and they all tell me, they're like, you're going to have no problem. And I'm like, yeah, because I already did this. I'm just adding on things that I didn't do as an LPN. You know, you go in, do your assessment, get your report, like that's all the same. You know what I mean? So, man, I just lost my train of thought. But, I mean, I'm not going to make this like a super, super long rant. It's just something that people need to be aware, and I'm trying to spread awareness that LPNs are nurses. Your RNs are not better than your LPNs, and your LPNs are not better than your RNs. You work as a team. And I know plenty of LPNs that can run around RNs like with their eyes closed and make them look so dumb. But then I also know RNs who make LPNs, you know what I mean? So it goes both ways. And like I said, I'm thankful that I was an LPN before I was an RN because, like I said, I wouldn't have had the confidence and I wouldn't have had the skills to be able to handle the RN the way that I'm handling it now. I don't know if that makes, if you guys aren't into nurse, you know, if you're not a nurse, you probably don't understand what I'm saying. But don't talk down to LPNs and don't talk down to aides either. I'm telling you, some of those aides, they know more about your patient than you do because they're with them a lot of the times. They're bathing, they're turning, you know, they're helping you with tests. They know their patients, okay? And aide work is hard, okay? I don't know if I could do it full time because I give them credit. And the techs at the hospital, I don't think they call them aides, they call them more like techs. It don't matter what you are. That is some hard, backbreaking work. And I've had plenty of aides. Like when I was an LPN, I would be like, I don't know how to work this machine. And the older experienced aides would be like, hey, I'll show you how to do it. I have this at home or something. So when you got a team, don't think you're better than anybody. Because remember, leaders do not lead from the front. They lead from the back because the leader's job is to make sure everybody else goes before them and they're good. That's the whole point about being a leader. And people need to realize that. Being charge nurse, I've been charge for years. I've actually been in charge of RNs and LPNs. So, you know, when you're charge nurse, whatever, and I have LPNs working under me, RNs, whatever. So like, but then I have worked under RNs or I've worked under LPNs, you know, like if another co-worker's an LPN and she's charged that day, that's my boss. Or if it's an RN, that's my boss. We work as a team because everybody brings different things to the table. So appreciate your aides, appreciate your LPNs, and appreciate your RNs because it's hard. But I hope that helped you guys. Like I said, I'm just trying to spread awareness and I'm not going to make this too long. But yeah. Stay safe out there, guys. All right, it's Becca, and I'm popping off the mic tonight.